Record. Well, everybody, I have an amazing speaker like I promised you, and I can't wait for you to hear amazing Debi Moore. I don't think Debi's been on a few things recently, but I'm excited she's on here with us tonight because she is legacy and Mary Kay. So let me just read a little bit about Debi before she comes on. She's an emeritus, so she recently retired from Mary Kay, and she lives in Charlotte, North Carolina, with her husband Bill. And I think they've been married more than 44 years because they just celebrated an anniversary, 45, 46, 47, 48, something like that. Anyway, she has a beautiful, keep going. Yeah. She has a beautiful daughter named Taylor, who is also a Mary Kay sales director, and a son named Colby. She joined Mary Kay in 1977. Before that, she was teaching school. So she was a teacher. And 6 months later, while working Mary Kay part-time, I always say this slowly because y'all need to hear this. While working Mary Kay part-time as a full-time teacher, she earned the salary and had earned what her salary was for a year of work in teaching. By May of 1978, she debuted as a sales director and left her teaching job. She's earned over $8.5 million in Mary Kay, and she is still being paid by Mary Kay as an emeritus. Her highest check in 1 month is in excess of $51,000. How many of you could get excited about $51,000 being in your account tomorrow? She's earned the use of 20 pink Cadillacs, and I'm super excited for you to hear her amazing story tonight. So Debi Moore, I'm going to give it up to you, girl.
Am I on? Am I on? Am I here?
You're on, girl.
Oh, Janice, this is so fun. Oh my gosh. This is great. Well, welcome to all of the guests that have joined us tonight. And Janice, thank you. Thank you for being a legacy leader yourself. And thank you for being like the most go-give person I know. You know, I have to say to the audience, this doesn't happen all over the world, all over the United States. Janice has taken it on herself to really put out to the world an amazing opportunity for consultants, yes, you to get on, and for guests to listen to different people's stories in hopes that something we might say trips a trigger for maybe the guests that might be looking for more, that might be frustrated doing what they're doing, that might be just wondering, what is life all about? What is my life? What is my impact in this world? And so, Janice, thank you so much. I really think it's amazing that you're doing this. I know you're working really hard in your last year, and taking the time to do this is just a big thank you from the Mary Kay world. So thank you. Okay, well, listen. Oh my gosh, I feel like a dinosaur. I was 23 when I started my Mary Kay business back in Cleveland, Ohio, and I'm not ashamed to tell you that I just had my 70th birthday. Wow, where did the time go? Yikes. Seriously, where did the time go? But I was teaching junior high. Now, they should probably warn you, there might be an age group that you don't teach or that you think twice about teaching, and that would be junior high. But nobody gave me that advice. And so I said yes. And so I was in a junior high school doing my thing, loving life, thinking this is where I should be. But I noticed there was a place I shouldn't go very often. And it's called the Teacher's Lounge. And the reason for that was I'd go in excited about the day, and I'd kind of walk out 30 minutes later, 28 minutes later, going, wow, there was a lot of stuff going on in that Teacher's Lounge, a lot of negative stuff. They were talking all about things that weren't going right in the system and the kids that were driving them nuts. And I was young and excited about the business of teaching. But I found that it was wearing on me, quite honestly. It really was. It was just kind of bringing me down. So I kind of made a decision. I had to find somebody that felt the same way I did, and I did, a fellow teacher. And so we decided that we weren't going to go to the Teacher's Lounge anymore, and we didn't. We ate lunch together every day in her room, which was the home ec room, and it was wonderful. We talked about fun things, we laughed, and I went back and taught the second half of the day excited. Oh, pause. You become like that which you associate with. And I found very quickly associating with positive, uplifting people is the name of the game. It's the name of life. So we were doing our thing, and one day we went into her room to have our lunch, like always, and the pipes in her room had burst. There was water everywhere. We couldn't go. So we had to go back to the Teacher's Lounge to eat that day. Well, that was a divine intervention for sure. I didn't know it then, but it was, because I overheard a conversation that day from a gentleman that I liked, talking excitedly about his wife's career. Her wife, actually, it was a job then, it wasn't a career for her. And so I was eavesdropping. I was kind of like listening instead of talking to my friend. And I finally said, "Hey, Jim, what are you talking about so excitedly?" And he said, "Well, my wife's new job. She's with Mary Kay." Now I have to pause and tell you that I didn't even know what Mary Kay was. This was years and years and years ago. It wasn't the household word that it is today. We weren't famous then, but oh, we're worldwide famous now. And so I said, "Mary Kay," with a question mark. And he said, "Mary Kay Cosmetics." And I thought, ugh, I didn't wear much. It wasn't interesting to me at all. And so he said, "Yeah, she's really enjoying it." Well, just as he started to get into the whole spiel, the bell rang and I went back to class and never gave it another thought. Really. Was home that night with my husband, eating dinner. The phone rang. I answered it, and it was his wife calling me to invite me to come to a meeting. Now, I knew about meetings because we had meetings every Monday morning, teacher meetings, and I have to tell you guys, they weren't fun. And so to go to another meeting was the last thing I wanted to do. And so I conveniently was busy the day that she told me. And so I said, "Oh, no, thank you." Okay, long story short, she called me every week, week in, week out for 7 weeks, inviting me to the next event, to something fun, to this, that. Finally, my husband said, "Oh my gosh, she is not going to give up. Go with her, buy a lipstick, and we'll be done with it." And so I thought I could do that. I can be polite and I can go and maybe have fun and buy a lipstick and it'll be over. And so that's exactly what I did. I said, yes. She probably went, yes, it worked. And so I went. She gave me a facial. And I have to be very honest with you. I fell in love with the way my skin looked and felt after her facial with me. And I went, oh boy. Okay, great. Well, I really like the products, but I'm afraid that if I buy them from her, she'll never stop calling me. And so I didn't buy any at the facial, but we went on to a meeting. And after an hour and a half meeting, I was totally impressed with what I saw in the room. I saw women embracing each other. I saw a lot of love, a lot of laughter, a lot of fun. And I heard MONEY because the director was congratulating women that had had a great week. Now, I didn't really know what that meant, but I was hearing $300 weeks, $400 weeks, $500 weeks. And I thought, wow, what does that mean? And the gal that brought me said, well, they're making 50% of whatever she's talking about. And I went, I was never a math whiz, but I could divide by 2 pretty easily. And I went, oh my gosh, like they're making really good money. They might be making more money in an hour than I am teaching after a college degree. And so that night, I made a very impulsive, crazy decision that I was going to become a Mary Kay beauty consultant and try it, see what I thought. Part-time. Oh, I was never going to do it full-time. And so I had to go home that night and tell Bill, well, I went and yeah, it was fun. And oh, by the way, I'm a Mary Kay beauty consultant. And he thought, oh my gosh, she drank the Kool-Aid. What in the world? I said, hey, let's just try it. I kind of liked what I saw. He said, okay, try it for 3 months and see what you think. So I did it for 3 months and I enjoyed it. I held 2 to 3 parties every week, worked full time. And I thought, well, I'll try it for 3 more months. And at the end of 6 months, as you heard Janice share, it was time to sit down with our accountant. And Bill and I and the accountant sat down and he said, do you know you're making as much doing that thing on the side that as you are teaching? Bill and I looked at each other and he said, well, you're coming home from one of those parties a lot more excited than you are a day teaching. And I thought, yeah, you know what? You're right. And so we made a very impulsive but very important decision. And that was that I was leaving teaching and doing Mary Kay a little more seriously, i.e. full time. And the rest, as they say, is history. I jumped in. I was excited. I was free. I didn't have to get up and go to school and put up with all the bureaucracy that I was dealing with there. I could do my own thing when I wanted to. But I really enjoyed doing my thing, and I was doing more and more and more of it. And consultants, by that I meant I was holding no less than 3 to 5 parties a week because I loved it. It was fun. I got to someone's house or they came to my house and 4 or 5 women sat around the table and I taught them how to put it on, take it off, put it on, take it off and look beautiful and leave. And they were so excited and I was excited. And And what they left me with, as they left with my product, was Money. And at the end of the week, when we added it up, we were like, yeah, this is really great. So things started unfolding. And I decided I wanted to move into management. So a year from the day I signed, I became a Mary Kay sales director and started building an organization, a unit of women. And it was so gratifying. It was so much fun. I was helping other women do what I was doing. That's all I was doing. I was teaching them how to hold parties and how to do their Mary Kay business, part-time, full-time, their choice, whatever they wanted to do. And honestly, as easy as that may sound, was it always easy? No. But was it gratifying? Absolutely. Would I do it all over again today? Absolutely. Because I loved the feeling that I had watching other women succeed. And isn't that great? I mean, how many people can say they love to go to work? They love everybody they work with. They're so excited about helping someone else move up their career path. We all know that isn't going to happen. That isn't going to happen. No one's going to help somebody else get a position that maybe they want. But in Mary Kay, that's our job, is to help other people up the career path with us. And so that's really what I was investing my time with. And in so doing, we won cars that turned into Cadillacs. We took trips, Bill and I, around the world. We had 2 beautiful children, one of which you heard is a Mary Kay sales director, Taylor Moore Faring, who now has 3 children, and a little girl is in the mix, who said to me just the other day, Nana, will you take me to seminar? I want to see what it's all about. So I'm now on the hook to do that. But isn't it exciting that she wants to do what her mother's doing, and that my daughter wanted to do what I was doing? It's just a blessing, for sure. And we have a son that really was a very, very good student and took on golf very early in his life. But my husband was in corporate America, so he traveled a lot. And so I kind of, for a period of a few years, was like a single parent, because he traveled usually Tuesday through Friday. He climbed the corporate ladder very successfully, was a senior vice president for a company. But you know what? So what? He was never home. And he was missing his children's lives, and he didn't like that. So I vowed at the age of 40, this was in our 30s, that I would work really, really hard. And at the age of 40, we would consider him retiring. And that's exactly what happened. At the age of 40, he walked in and resigned, and he came back home to be a father to our children. And in so doing, he became my son's golf coach, which enabled Colby to become a nationally ranked golfer. And then he was recruited by Yale University. And he had just an experience beyond words. So all of those things would not have happened had I not said yes to the Mary Kay opportunity to try this part-time to see if I would even enjoy it. Bill and I have had the privilege of traveling the world as a top director with Janice and her beautiful, wonderful, supportive, incredible husband. We've traveled all over the world. And then as a national sales director. And as my area, when I became a national, started to develop and grow, and we hit the top rank in Mary Kay, then we got 2 trips a year, the inner circle trip and the national trip. And I have to say, there's not too many countries that we haven't been in, quite honestly. Isn't that amazing, Janice, to think that there's not, and you for sure are traveling all over now too, but there's not too many countries that we haven't been in, thanks to Mary Kay. You know, as you heard, I made millions as a sales director, but what I'm most excited about, and it's open to anyone who chooses, is as you climb up the career path into directorship, which is the leadership of Mary Kay, and then if you want to go on and become a national, you have the privilege of having a retirement program. So 4 years ago, I retired as a national sales director. I'm now emeriti, but get this, for 15 years, I'm going to be paid every month. Bill and I kind of toast at night, the day that retirement money goes right into the account. And you know what? When it's all said and done in 15 years, it'll be $3.4 million. Guys, where does that happen? Where does that happen out there? I don't think anywhere. And when I'm asked today, which I still am asked quite honestly, what is it that you enjoyed the most about your Mary Kay journey? Of course, you would expect me to say, well, the free cars, I never had a car payment. You expect me to say the traveling, all the prizes that we won. But honestly, when you boil it all down, it's the people. I loved the relationships that I have. My closest friends in the whole world are Mary Kay people. And my husband's closest friends are Mary Kay people. I mean, how many people can say that? That their closest friends are the people they worked with 40 years. They probably couldn't wait to get away from them. But we love the people that God placed in our path through my Mary Kay journey. It is a blessing in disguise. It really is. And so if you're a guest tonight on this Zoom, I would encourage you, if something about this looks appealing, I mean, the littlest of thing looks appealing, let me encourage you to try it. You'll never know. Two types of people in the world. I wish I had, and the glad I did. And I'm so glad I tried it with the thought that I'm just going to do it for a couple of months and see if I make a little extra money and see if I really like it. And as you just heard, it has evolved into so much more. It's empowered our lives. It's empowered my children's lives. Now my grandchildren's life, of which we have 6. I mean, I'm going off today to watch my daughter's son try out for a travel baseball team, and my 7th grade grandson, I keep calling him my son's grandson, is now being drafted for the high school football team. And I just think, where do things like this happen other than Mary Kay? They go to a private school because of really what they've grown up with. So I hope that if you're a guest, I really pray that if you're a guest, that you'll give it a try. By the way, you'll never find a better product. 70 years old. I've been using this product for 46 years. Somebody asked me the other day, I know you're retired. Do you still use Mary Kay? I kind of looked at him like, what? Of course I do. I would never think about using anything but Mary Kay. Our skincare is rivaled by none. There's no finer skincare line than Mary Kay Cosmetics. The Glamour line, phenomenal. Really, you won't find a better product. You won't find a more supportive company than you will in Mary Kay. You won't find sterling people, women that will support you in the good times and the bad times. And I want to close with one little story that I think says it all. As a top director in Mary Kay, we had our first child, which is Taylor, the Mary Kay sales director. And I didn't babysit much growing up. And so my mother flew in. They lived in another state because she realized if she didn't, the child might not make it through the first week, because I really didn't know what to do. And while she was visiting us and helping me with Taylor, she collapsed in my living room and she was rushed back to the hospital I had just left, delivering Taylor. And we were told the most horrific news you can ever hope to hear or not hear. And that was that she had an inoperable brain tumor and wasn't given long to live. And you can well imagine how devastating that was. And so Bill stayed at the hospital with her and I went home. I don't know, can't really remember why I went home, but when I got home, I was walking around the house just in a fog and the phone kept ringing. And I thought, I don't want to talk to anybody. I can't even function right now. And so it kept ringing and then it would hang up and it kept ringing and it would hang up. So I thought, well, maybe somebody's trying to get hold of me. And so I picked it up. And it was Mary Kay Ash, the chairman of the board of Mary Kay Cosmetics. Someone in Cleveland had called her and told her what was going on. And she picked the phone up and called me. And for 45 minutes, she consoled me. She lifted me and she prayed with me on the phone. I had never had anybody pray with me on a phone in my whole life. And at the end of the call, she gave me the most incredible advice I could ever hope to get. Now remember, chairman of the board and I was a top director. She said, I want you to take they had given my mother 6 to 8 months to live. I want you to take those months and I want you to spend that time with your mother so that you never look back with regret. Your area, your unit knows what to do. They're one of the top units in all of Mary Kay. They know what to do and they will carry on in your absence. Oh, by the way, the company still paid me in those months that I took off. I did exactly what Mary Kay suggested. I spent those next months traveling back and forth with my to see my mother. And when she passed, I had no regrets. So I want to leave you with this question. If you're a guest and you work another job, would the CEO or the corporate head of your corporation or your job call you with that same advice? The answer is probably no. Oh, would they pay you in the next 6 to 9 months when you took all that time off? And better question, would you have a job when you returned? The answer for us was yes, yes, and yes. And so I am blessed beyond because all those years ago I said yes to an opportunity to try something to see if maybe I'd enjoy it. And the countless people that have blessed our lives, I can't even number. So I just want to say thank you, Janice, for letting me jump on and share just a little bit about my journey
Oh
in
my,
hope, in
Debbie,
hopes
you're
that
so
somebody will
amazing.
join.
You are amazing. It's just such a pleasure to have you on here. Oh my gosh, 70. Oh, I know. I know. Well, no, I'm in my mid 60s, so I'm catching there, but
There you are. Come on, come on, come on.
oh my gosh. I always think that we age in Mary Kay, we look better as we get older than we did when we started, which is like the craziest thing in the world. Because I feel like I look better now than I did when
Yes.
I started at 22 with no makeup on. Here I am in my mid 60s, so I think that is, yeah. So thank you, Debbie. I so appreciate you and your time. I know that you are busy with your 6 grandkids running around, and I know that you're just, and it's just fun just to see your beautiful daughter and all she's done too. So thank you, thank you, thank you.